Scoodly doodly doo, it's time for another Welch review. Scoodly doodly doo doo.
Evening, gang. Welcome back to another episode of the Welch Review. In this episode, we're talking about The Kings of Summer. And in this film, you have Nick Robinson as Joe, and you might recognize him from Love, Simon, Jurassic World, and the Netflix show Made that came out, I think, later, actually, in 2021. Gabriel Basso as Patrick. He was in Super 8, Hillbilly Elegy, which is also on Netflix, and Barely Lethal. Then you have Moises Arias as Biagio, and he was in The King of Staten Island, Ender's Game, and he was a Disney Channel kid on Hannah Montana. You also have Nick Offerman as Frank. You might recognize him from Parks and Rec, A Walk in the Woods, and the Hulu show Pam and Tommy. Then you have Aron Moriarty as Kelly, and you can see her presently in The Boys, Bloodfather, and Captain Fantastic. And you have Megan Mullally as Mrs. Keenan, which is interesting because she is Nick Offerman's wife, so this is another time where they have worked together. You would know her from Will and Grace, Why Him and the Disaster Artist, or Tammy number 2 from Parks and Recreation. Then you have Alison Brie as Heather. She's in the show Glow on Netflix, The Post, and the recent horror film The Rental. Then you have Eugene Cordero, who is in When in Rome, Kong Skull Island, and The Mule. And this was written by Chris Galetta, and he did the sound. He worked in the sound department on Galveston, and he worked on the show with David Letterman. And then this was directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts, and he directed Kong Skull Island, American Ham, which was a comedy special that Nick Offerman did, and You're the Worst. I think he's currently working on developing a live-action Gundam movie. So if that happens, that's going to be pretty exciting. It's seems like a lot of stuff from my childhood. I'm sure yours as well is becoming like film franchises in the making. But anyway, The Kings of Summer focuses on Joe and Patrick, right? Both of them are kind of tired of their parents in their own unique ways, right? Where Patrick's parents are a little overbearing, right? They're always on him. Not on him in a negative way, but like they want to be around him. They want to know what he's up to, right? They want to connect with him. He's an only child, so their attention is like a heat-seeking missile. It's just on 24/7, 365. Whereas Joe has a little bit more of a tragic thing going on. His mother's passed away. His father doesn't seem like he's really ever been the most expressive with how much he cares about his children. And so his dad, I'm sure, is in his own state of depression, and his sister has since moved out, right? And there, I guess, in a way, Joe also is now, in a way, an only child. But whereas Patrick's parents, care for him, Joe's dad is hard on him over, little things for no reason. It clearly can be seen where they're playing Monopoly, and granted, Monopoly is a game that you don't really make friends in because you raise the prices, you make backdoor deals, it gets tricky. But anyway, in this game of Monopoly, it's clearly seen that even in what should be a fun family game, there's no sympathy, right? He goes all out on him. So this causes Joe to formulate this idea I'm going to run away and be my own man. And then he convinces Patrick as well to be hey, why don't you come with me, and we can build our own utopia in the woods. So they formulate this idea, and then while they're doing it, they encounter this young man named Biagio, who they had previously met at a party, which is probably one of my favorite scenes, period, is just that whole party instance up to when they meet Biagio. So I really hope if you watch it, you check that. Just watch for that, because Moises Arias does a fabulous job as this character. And in doing so, right, at this party, there's this girl, Kelly, who Joe is into, but Kelly dates older idiots who don't appreciate her. So he doesn't have the girl, doesn't have the whole family thing going on, so he decides he's going to strike out on his own. He gets Patrick, they go out, they build their own utopia in the woods. Biagio joins them, and eventually it becomes a Three Musketeers thing. And we just follows their day-to-day, right? What's it mean to be a man, to be your own man? And I think that's a lot of what this movie is asking you. What's it mean to be your own person, right? To make adult decisions, right? Life-altering decisions. And through this, you see the trials and the tribulations, right? Like, okay, hey, if we're going to live out here, we're going to have to hunt for food, right? If we're out here, how are we going to interact with like people we used to know, such as this Kelly girl, right, who Joe still is crushing on, right? How am I going to keep myself in shape? All these type of things. And as they're going through it, you know, you see these boys bond a lot with each other, right, and become stronger, more connected, and you know their adventures are pretty awesome. Especially like there's a scene where they're doing this pipe dance, and you know Biagio can get it, man. He's got moves like no tomorrow. You know, so and then the whole Kelly situation gets a little dicey. You know, so I'll leave it there. There's you know, there's a love triangle, and you know some triangles aren't always 90-degree angles, right? They're a little uneven. But it all works out in the end. But anyway, this is I think it's a nice small film that has a lot of heart and a lot of feeling in it, and it's definitely worth a watch. I think a big standout is definitely Moises Arias. He does a great job as Biagio. Like he really just steals the show. So if you're looking for a fun flick, fun coming of age film, I'd encourage you to pick up The Kings of Summer or find it on Amazon Prime or rent it on YouTube. Something to that effect, or just buy it on DVD because it's great, and I hope there are more movies like this that come out this year or in the years to come. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Welch Review.